Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Powertime practice here on Saturday, January 6th, 2018. Happy New Year to everyone. I'm just checking my AstroVed calendar, which everyone should have. This is a very handy tool so that you can follow the power times. You can follow the days on the calendar are not just numbers going by. They have energy, and that energy is what we tap into every day when we're studying with Dr. Pillai, we're following his teachings. He says it's so important. If you want to change your destiny, you have to go into the energy behind time that's going by, because whatever we're destined to do from point A to point B, or from birth to death and everywhere in between, is going to be time. So we want to make the most out of our time. And here at Pillai Center and AstroVed, we offer this powerful tool that you can order on AstroVed or Pillai Center, and it's under the products, it's a calendar, or I forget what else they call it. There's something else, but it's a Vedic calendar, and it follows the sun as it transits mid-month. So Radha, our Vedic astrologer here in Powertime Practice, gave us a heads up of what is happening with the sun as it's transited now into the sign of Sagittarius. And this is not Western astrology, this is Vedic astrology, much different. So you're on a journey of the soul, and you're on a journey of communing with all the planets and understanding them internally as a consciousness that is also evolving as we evolve. So as we evolve as human beings, they get to evolve as well. So it's important to follow the timings that are posted in the calendar, and we'll get to learn how to do that in a very simple way without having to, rack our brains and study astrology. So the sun in Sagittarius means that it's in the natural ninth house, and that's all about teachings, and it's all about looking up, and it's all about coming out of the dark night of the soul, so to speak. So if you have been feeling like that in the past month, from the 15th of the month to the 15th of the next month, it's approximately around those dates, the sun is transiting, and the sun represents our soul, so it affects us at a soul level. And then that soul consciousness pumps up into our brain, and then we start to grab onto thoughts that create a wonderful destiny or create not so wonderful destiny. So whatever we're destined to do, we can change that. And so we're looking at the calendar now, and it is the 6th moon, and it just started this morning. And what that means is we can tap into the energy of Lord Muruga, and Lord Muruga can take care of karma, Maya, which is this illusion that we are forced to do something. Oh, someone made us do something, or we have to do it because of how we were brought up, or because of our responsibilities, our commitments, and so on. And we can't modify it. We're stuck. And that's not so. There's always a way out. And these divine energies that are inside of us, and this consciousness that we can tap into with this archetype, Lord Muruga, who rules the 6th moon. Moon represents the mind. So the mind can shift. You can get clarity. So Lord Muruga will help us to get clarity. And he's always associated with this veil. It's a spear-like object. And what we can do is we can put it into our body, imprint it, the image into the subtle body. So as Dr. Pillai shares, it's not only our physical, mental, and emotional makeup, it's also our spiritual and soul makeup that we want to tap into, because that's a higher vibration. That is joy, that is happiness, that is moving up towards the heavens, so to speak. But we don't have to go to the heavens after we die. We can have heavenly consciousness from within. So it's going, our consciousness is shifting up, and it's also shifting deep within. Why deep within? So we can have those profound experiences, because profound experiences change us forever. And we can't quite put our finger on it. We can't quite articulate it in the moment, but we will know as our life rolls out thereafter that we have been impacted. So the teaching that Dr. Pillai shares are all about tapping into this mystery behind the time, and also the energies that are kind of like overlords, or CEOs of time. So this sphere-like object can be a meditation process that we will go through, but also it can be a negativity buster. So one of the ways that we can bust negativity is if you have a lime, and this is, I have a little lime, it's called a key lime. And the reason I have a key lime is because I got a bag of them and they were very inexpensive. Normal size ones are maybe a handful. So what you can do with the sphere is you can just take it and cut a little, make a little incision, and then you just push the sphere into the lime, and the juice might flow, don't worry about it. So, but that, in and of itself, that act will take you into a realm where the consciousness of Lord Muruga will get awakened in you. Now, you don't have to believe in any of this, because belief always comes after our experience. What Dr. Pillai wants us to do is do these techniques that will help us to tap into these divine beings who are behind time, and who in this moment of time, in this 24-hour period, when the moon is in the 6th waning moon cycle, you can get a lot of energy and a lot of strength, a lot of karma busted. And so do that. And it'll also make you to feel cleansed and feel good. So it's kind of like working out your soul. Your soul needs a workout too, just like your body does at this point. In the new year, we're always, okay, gotta go to the gym now. Just, we ate too much, drank too much, slept too much, didn't exercise, didn't do too much. And it's freezing cold here in Toronto, Canada. It's like, I don't know, minus a gazillion. We have some Arctic freeze, and it's in the northeast of North America. So God bless everyone, and all those people who are without shelter. God bless everyone, that we have a world where everyone has food, clothing, shelter, medicines, especially during these times. And if you can, it's a Saturday, and Saturn is ruled by rules Saturday, and Saturn loves it when you help people in need. So today, if you can, get downtown or somewhere where you know people need some food, maybe a soup kitchen, or you can get blankets from Walmart, or Value Village or something like that, whatever that equivalent is in your area, and go give someone a blanket, or go give them a hot tea or hot coffee or hot chocolate, and just go be with them, just even for a few minutes. And that will do wonders for your soul, because you're connecting with another human being who needs it the most, and in the most excruciating circumstances. They cannot even, I couldn't even stand being out for 5 minutes without my hat and gloves and mitts and coat and everything else. So if you can do that, you will be getting a lot of blessings from the divine. And don't do it because, oh, I'm going to get blessings. Do it because you want to experience that which will come back to you. And generally what people say, when you do something kind to them and you go out of your way, they will say, God bless you. And it will be as if the heavens descended into them and said that, and that was your blessing. So try it out. And then if you can't, go out and do something that's charitable, using your time or your money or your energy, then you can go on to a website like Tripura Foundation and just go and see the people there. There's lots of different projects that you could, donate towards, because anything we do, any tithing, any act of charity that we do on a Saturday especially, and on days that in which, like for example, the 6th waning moon, 6th house represents service. It also represents debt. So you can, if you do service, you're doing a divine act, and then your debt will come down. And watch it every month, and you will see. So these timings are not just about understanding something theoretically or academically. You don't have to understand that at all. It's at the level of the soul, and this is soul food. When we're charitable, it's food for the soul. when we tap into these energies of the archetypes, it also is food for the soul. So our soul will grow. And when we grow in our soul, we shine brightly. And then that light, that intelligence, that divinity can be shared with other people, can pour out into other people, and other people will feel good. And that's how we can do something that is going to help us to feel joyous and feel refreshed and feel vital and feel like we belong and we contribute. So any little contribution is perfect. And the divine God only knows what we can and cannot do. So don't stress out about it. I'm just saying it's a good thing to do. Now, Mercury is entering into Sagittarius, and Mercury is all about communication. It's all about intuition. It's all about healing energy. It's all about knowledge. So it's going into Jupiter's house, natural sign. So the tendency between Jupiter and Mercury is that Jupiter is all about wisdom, and it's very patient, it's very wise, and Jupiter's like, hey, come on, let's go, come on. So it's very quick in its thinking, it's very intelligent. So when we have Jupiter and Mercury together, it can be sometimes we're speaking before we absorb it, we experience that energy within us, and then we have this kind of like little dance that goes on. So just pause and then just see inside, feel inside what it is that you want to articulate, what it is you want to share, and then just slow it down a little bit. As you can see, Mercury's like blah, 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 blah. I feel that. So as I'm looking, I went, okay, chill out, relax. So 6th moon, and then we also look at the star, and currently we're in Purva Phalguni star that will go on until about mid-afternoon. This is the US calendar, Eastern Standard Time. So you have to check out on AstroVed, on the home page, scroll down to where it says Panchang, or you can get the Horo Watch. It's an app that you can also download on AstroVed, and it will tell you the timings that we're talking about. So when you follow these timings, then you are in this space, this energy, this intelligence, this consciousness that you will know, oh, I can do this during this time. I'm in alignment with time. I'm doing the right thing at the right time, thinking, saying, and acting in the right manner, which is not in a way that it is righteous, but it is in the way that everything's going smoothly. So that's how you will know if you're doing things in the right timing of how the day is rolling out. So that's what we have here today. Purva Phalguni is a star that's associated with the goddess Lakshmi, and also the devas, the gods. So all the gods are coming together and they are surrounding us, even though we may not understand that experientially. Oh my goodness, Mercury, slow down. When we are experiencing the gods or the goddesses surrounding us, it's usually during a meditation or during a ritual or during a remedy. So what we want to do is we always want to feel the presence so that we can be in the eternal now. Because the past is like a minute ago, a second ago, a millisecond ago. It's so past. The future hasn't even happened. So we want to stay in this present state, the eternal state. So this star today, this quality that comes through in this day in particular, halfway through, and then it will go into Uttar Phalguni, and that will bring more sunlight energy in. So it will also wake up our soul. So we want to have all these gods, these divine beings, their presence, and when we're surrounded by that, or we know that, or we feel that, then we're never alone. You know, I was reading in this article in the newspaper, the local newspaper, and it was saying, are you experiencing post-holiday blues? And then they were talking about mental health and mental illness, and it's like, oh, you know, you should go see a counselor. And I agree with that. You should. You can. You don't have to. If you are really feeling like you can't even get off the bed and you're so depressed, then definitely you need to to do something about that, and you need to get the support to get you going and get you back in your life. However, if you can be tapping into these energies of the divine beings that are surrounding you and also within you, that is way more empowering because you're doing it and you're experiencing it. No one can negate that. So it's a powerful time to come together and then to be participating as the year is rolling out, as we're looking at our lives and saying, okay, what are my goals this year? What do I want to do? How do I want to feel? Not just looking at the body. Yes, you want to get into physical shape and you want to have wellness and you want to have vitality, but what is it? What is my purpose? So on this journey in Powertime practice, you're going to experience that unfolding. And if you join or enroll in any of Dr. Pillai's year-long programs, such as the Mystery School or the Mini Mystery School, which is coming up, and I'm so happy I was just invited to teach that. So hopefully some of you will be joining that program, and we'll have a lot of fun discovering about the mysteries behind your life and behind what your soul, how to access that which has been so mysterious for you to do. It's been hidden from you, and that's the mystery behind it. So if we want to find out what we're hiding, and our soul is hiding the juicy treasures, so we don't have to go seeking spiritually. We're already there. We just have to discover the teachings that will unlock those secrets. So it's everyone's birthright to evolve and have a beautiful, prosperous life, and also have wonderful goals that we can achieve. So it's not so like somewhere down the road, maybe at the end of the life. It's like right now. And then not only for your own life, but for your friends and family members. They will start to feel the experiences. And we shared about that last night, or I should say early this morning, after our Fire Lab in Wealth Rising program. A lot of the members were sharing about their experiences with connecting with their kids and reconciling and healing their relationships with their kids, which is so important. We need to heal our relationships with everyone, because who we are is how we bump up against other people, and that feedback comes back to us, and it's usually not so favorable if your karma isn't so great. So you don't have to go far to find out what your karma is. People are always saying, what is karma? Karma is thinking. It's what's happening around you. It's the consciousness. It's whatever ideas you're grabbing towards you. So if you're meeting your friends or your family members, or you're even thinking about them, you have to be very careful. What are you thinking? Are you pumping out the same old, same old? Hey, it's a new year. So you get to do new stuff. You get to think new thoughts. You get to grab on to new ideas, new concepts about themselves. So when you're in meditation and you're surrounded by all these gods and goddesses, these divine beings, these archetypes, these energies, the planets, the stars, the sun, the moon, oh my God, what is that? Those are all living beings, and we are also living beings. So what's the commonality is that we are being and we're living. So this energy is alive and it's moving through us. It's not stuck unless we make it to be stuck. So you can get unstuck from those thoughts that produce actions that are not so desirable or maybe totally unfavorable for you. So don't feel like you're ever stuck. We have archetypes such as Ganesha who will get you unstuck. And how you will feel that is you will feel it internally. His energy resides at the base of your spine. So even as you're listening right now, you can be focusing on your tailbone, that area that you kind of can wiggle around and feel, is that you're sitting. And then if you can't feel it, then you just can go internally and do an internal check. You know, you just close your eyes and then you bring your awareness or your attention down into the pelvic region and maybe into the low back. Everybody feels that low back, but there is an energy that can explode and release whatever congestion is there, causing maybe pain or maybe some that feeling of being stuck. And then you let that energy pour down your legs. And it's a reddish orangish light. So you can imagine it like the red roses here, and then mixed in with a little bit of orange. And that will help you to experience it at a deeper level, because we are just all these light particles stopped. They've done studies and so much research on quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and everything is just energy. So as the beginning of every sacred text, you know, everything started here on the earth plane, and everything and everywhere else as light and sound. So we're just light and sound. We're solidified, we're materialized, we're matterized. So that we're just light, energy and sound that has stopped. So how sound? It's all vibrations. It's all waves, light waves and sound vibrations. And they come together, they do a dance. And then when we are focused on something, then it materializes. Right? So if we want a car, we want a house, or we want a guy, you know, a guy in our life, or a girl in our life, or, you know, we want a husband or wife, or we want this to happen for our kid, or we want this job, or we want this project, or whatever it is that we want, or we wish for. We really think about it, dream about it, you know, we pray about it, we do everything we can, we focus on it, and it eventually manifests. So most times, and what happens with everybody is we lose the momentum, we lose that acceleration. You know, we hit the ground running, and then we lose the energy to keep going. So sixth moon, waning or waxing, and this is now it's on a waning cycle because we had a full moon, and then it was on the 1st January. It was also Lord Shiva's birthday and New Year's Day. So that energy of that day said, hey, we're going to get a lot of blessings for prosperity and enlightenment. And then 2018, if you're into numerology or you want to just explore that a little bit, because everything is all about the numbers too. And so 2 and 0 is 2, and then you add 1 to it, that's 3, and then you add 8 to it, and that's 11. And then you want to come down to a single digit, so you add the 1 and the 1 together, and you get 2. So 2 year is all about second house matters in astrology, and 2 years is all about balance, because it's 2 people, it's 1 and 1. So you might find yourself getting into a balance with everyone that you're relating to, or anyone you are related to. So family is second house matters, income, money, what we take in, the food we take in, the speech that we take in from others, and what we say to others. So that will be either rewarding, or it will be needing to be modified. And we will find ourselves being wiser in our speech. We'll be more patient, we'll be more compassionate, will be more respectful of others, not only for their status or their relationship to us, but there's a deep respect internally. It's going to be this, you're a soul and I'm a soul, and we're evolving. And you will recognize that. And your language, you will speak a different language. Again, last night when we were in our Wealth Rising program, a lot of members and anyone who joins Dr. Pillai's teachings, or you come across Dr. Pillai's teachings, you may have come from a different religious upbringing. And you are now discovering all these spiritual tools that are shared by Dr. Pillai. And he always brings out the best tools for us to use to tap into the energy of the soul, and to give you immediate results. And you feel so much joy, you feel so much happiness, you want to share it with your family members, and they're kind of like, what's going on with you? And we've all experienced that. And it is a little bit challenging, and it may be during this 2 year, to articulate what it is that you're doing on this spiritual path. And so you can, what you might find is you'll just invite your family members to go explore Pillai Center or explore AstroVed or explore Tripura Foundation, and let them make their own decisions. There's so many free YouTubes that they can go and read about or watch the teachings and watch the sharings of others, and then they can decide what it is that they want to do, and you just leave it. And don't say, oh, you know, you should do this or you should do that. But what happened in the call last night when we were in our discussion is that some members were sharing, you know, they got their son, one member in particular said his son sent him a text, and he sent him a picture, and in the picture he had a little Ganesha, which is the elephant-headed being, and he has a pot belly and he rides a mouse. And this is a crystal one here because this is the closest one I have, to give you a little demo of what he looks like. So what the picture was that the son had this Ganesha in his hand, and he was sending it to his dad. And so that was, his dad was so excited because it had come totally out of nowhere, and it was totally synchronistic because his dad is learning about Ganesha and how that energy is going to manifest and show up. And so then it was an opening to the conversation with his son in a whole new way. And then other people shared also about their experiences. So that's what's going to happen. It's not about my God is better than your God or my religion is better than your religion, because that always ends up in wars and just useless, you know. And the world is getting to be so universal. Everyone is mixing and mingling and exploring the teachings. And if you look in every religion or every culture, God is always through ritual. Even if they say we don't believe in rituals, we don't believe in all this, you go into any church or anywhere where they're saying, you read the text and it's all about light and sound. And then so when you have a light, as in the ghee lamp that's sitting on the mantle, and you have incense, that clears the space, and you see it in every culture. So some form of it, fire, light, and then offerings, because you want to help yourself to connect on a metaphysical level. So something that is beyond the physical. So we have these physical items, but we want to experience something beyond that. And then there's an alchemy that takes place. There's an energetic exchange. So you get down to the quantum physics level, and everything is just energy particles. So we're exchanging all this light and sound, and it's an exploration of how to go from physical to spiritual, and from spiritual to physical, and then everywhere in between. So you can be in this world, and then you can access eternity. And eternity is all worlds, all time, and it is not stuck. So it's going to be quite interesting, and quite a fabulous journey that we're going to be on, with second house matters coming and speaking. Maybe your speech will be really sweet, and people will see you in a whole different way. They'll experience being with you in a whole different way, because you'll be speaking more from the level of the soul. You will understand how to release that knowledge, and then it will come through your speaking and your sharing about your life. And you won't be having all these self-imposed boundaries. Oh, you know, I got to put my shield of protection on. Yes, you have to have some protection. Just like when you go outside and you have these warm clothes on, maybe you have your Canada Goose down jacket that you got for Christmas, because you would have to get it as a gift. And it would have to be a very special person to give it to you, because it's pretty much taking out a second mortgage. They're quite expensive, but they're lovely. Anyways, maybe they'll go on sale. And then you have your hat, and you have your gloves, and you have your fabulous Sorel boots, or whatever boots you have that you can go out in 30 below. So you have to have protection to go out and do the things that you need to do in life. And so when we are on the spiritual path, the tapping into these energies, these divine beings, they will always be pumping in the right thoughts to you. because the consciousness is there. It's intermixing, it's intermingling. Just as you would go down a dark alley and the consciousness would be, oh my God, I'm scared out of my mind. Or there's my bus, I want to run the other way. Or, oh my God, I got to go to this meeting and everybody's going to be like hammering away at me questions and I won't be prepared and so on. Like you have to prepare yourself. So having these divine beings that will pump in that thinking, that higher knowledge, and then the right thought will come and clarity will come and you will prepare for, and you will have that energy that makes you to be excited about your meeting that is so boring that you could, take it or leave it. So that's what we do here in Powertime Practice and at Pillai Center and Astroved is we do participate in meditation practices and mantra practices and doing remedies and then finding out what lies ahead. So what lies ahead for us this month is a really powerful time that's coming up, and it's called well, actually, there's a few powerful times. Well, but anyways, there's a big one, and it is Shivaratri, and it's the night of Shiva. And it is, it happens once a year. The Maha Shivaratri happens once a year, but Shivaratri happens every 14th moon day, and that is right after Pradosham, which happens to be a Shani Pradosham. Shani means Saturn. And Saturn is deliverer of the karma. So he rules Capricorn and Aquarius, those signs in the Vedic chart, in the astrology chart. And those signs represent the ability to find out what your purpose is. So you will tap into the energy of Saturn on a Pradosham and he will just pull out all this stuff. Do you want this anymore? Like, get rid of it if you don't want it. Are you looking at the work that you're doing? Because your purpose is something that you do every day. It's not something down the road that you find out about. It's what you're doing every day and what you're spending most of your time on. And is it purposeful or is it just for a paycheck? Or no paycheck, and you're just trying to find out what your purpose is. So Saturn will be waking that up inside of you. So during a Shani Pradosham, you want to get the blessings. So Pradosham is this window of time where you can just cleanse your mind and your body and your soul of anything that's no longer serving your highest and best. And then Venus is going to enter Capricorn, which it likes. So it likes Saturn's house and it wants to give you comforts through your own efforts. So you will feel this energy coming up, and that's going to be happening next week, which we'll be together and we'll have a fun time together doing something special to propitiate Lord Saturn and also Lord Shiva, because Pradosham is an opportunity to get rid of the poison in your life. Whether that's emotional poisons or, they have this toxic relationships, get rid of the toxins. The relationship can stay maybe. It's the toxic stuff that we need to get rid of. And so then we have the sun entering Capricorn is going to be in mid-month around the 14th. And it's also going to be the Vedic winter solstice. Now we already had the Western winter solstice. So the Vedic winter solstice is coming up, and that's a really powerful time. Thai Amavasya is a new moon. Thai is a month in Tamil, and it is between mid-month to mid-month is when the months of the Tamil calendar, the Vedic calendar change. So Thai is the name of the month. Amavasya means new moon. And so whenever there's a new moon, it's like having a clean slate because you can't see the new moon in the sky. You can see the full moon. But the new moon is like black, right? It's dark, unless you have some telescope or something to look at it. But for the naked eye, you can't see it or see it clearly because it's gone. It's not there anymore. My incense is going a little wild here. So, so the new moon is a good time to go inside. And what do you want to see inside? Who's inside? Your genes are inside Okay, so you have this, the cells that make up all the tissues, the muscles, the joints, and everything else in your body that make you to go and be in this world. Now, at the level of each cell, we have the DNA. So the DNA is what we inherit. And so what we inherit from our ancestors is still there. We're not, just because they're gone, so our ancestors are those who have passed away, is our mother, father, or grandfather, grandmother, and everybody else who has gone. And they have, although they have gone to the higher realms or to the spirit world, the heavens, then we are activated because, or we are attached to them because of our genes. So as Dr. Pillai shares, we think that we're thinking with our brain. We're grabbing thoughts that are coming from this mind chatter that's going all over the place internally and externally, and then we grab thoughts and we roll it out like the movie of our life. So whatever those thoughts that are supercharged will generally make us to run away with something, right? We'll just go with it. And whether that's a good experience or a not so good experience, that's depending on how long you want to think those thoughts. Because the moment you stop thinking, you won't be acting, right? There'll be nothing, no action. So we're never going to stop thinking, but we can have pauses in it. And in our meditation process, that can be possible. And when that happens, oh my God, you give your brain a rest. You give your body a rest because your brain tells your body what to do. So everything can come into more balance. Again, second house matters. You might experience your meditations in a whole new way this year. So Tayamavasya is about tapping into the realm of the ancestors. And they can give tremendous blessings because there's 4 very powerful new moons every year. And then also during the great time of the ancestors, which is called Mahalaya. And that's when the ancestors come to the earth plane for about 14 or 15 days. And that usually happens in and around August, September, right after Ganesha's birthday. But there's a 4 moons in between that period from now until that period of time. And they're called Amavasya again. And it is the time of the ancestor where the realm of the ancestor, the gates open up and they just want to pour in blessings. Now, with everything in life on the earth plane, there's good and bad. There's right and wrong. There's hot and cold. There's up and down. There's left and right. So it's the male and female. So on the earth plane, our experience is all about reconciling the opposites or the differences. So once we reconcile what is right and wrong, we're just sitting with it. It's not that we're not going to do anything, but we are just knowing, okay, let me just align with what I need to do. It's not about right wing or left wing, right? Or it's not about he said, she said. It's about, whoa, let's get into balance and see what feels right internally. And I say see because you're looking within, and then you're feeling within, and then you're aligning your energy. So again, is everyone still at the base of the spine getting that energy with Ganesha going? He's the guy who opens up the gates of your energy that gets released from the base of the spine and goes up and clears everything. And it clears your karma. So it clears your eyes. Your eyes are the windows to the soul. It clears your ears. So what you hear, you will tune out any negativity. People can go blah, 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 blah. And you go, I'm in my own little world. And I am full of joy and I'm happy and I'm appropriate. I'm not going to be like, ah, ha, ha, life is beautiful and poke them in the eye. That's going to disturb the person, right? So you will just know, you will move. You'll be doing a dance where you're not stepping on toes and falling over and kicking and screaming, and falling down. You'll just be doing a dance and it'll be just like this beautiful dance in life. So whatever anyone is saying, it will just be bouncing off of you. because it won't affect you, it won't hit you, your consciousness to disturb you and then to make you to react. And listen to that word, yuck. You're reacting the same stuff over and over and you can't stop yourself. You're obsessed with it because you're right and they're wrong. Or you're wrong and they're right, you know. So just forget about that whole thing. And in the moment you can shift, because a thought is so super fast. You know, there's business at the speed of thought, or manifesting at the speed of thought. When you can do that, then you are really, you're mastering your mind. You're mastering the way you think, the way you do things, the way you are with people and with your life. And then you're living a purposeful life. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to experience going internally, because the moon is going from a full moon into a waning moon cycle into a new moon. And it's going, so we're going to go from, hey, it's all about me, to going more in and saying, who really is it about? So Dr. Pillai shares that our genes think, and they pump thoughts into our brain. And they don't have to come from outside, and they don't have to dial up and say, hey, what are you thinking today? You're gonna experience that. You go, my God, why am I thinking this way? Or, whoa, that's an awesome thought. That's such a prosperous thought. So propitiate the ancestors. And you can simply do that by offering tarpanum, which we've shared about in lots of programs. And then you can go onto YouTube, Pillai Center, you can go onto AstroVed and find out how to do that practice. And next week we'll actually do it. So that'll be fun. But if you want to get a jump start on that, you can simply take some, I have it here. You can take some, a mixture of black sesame seeds. I don't know if you can see it. So there's some rice powder and then some black sesame seeds mixed in. And I have it in this big container. It's handy. And you can do it every day, just like you brush your teeth. You want to have good dental health. You also want to have good gene health. And you want to get the blessings from your ancestors. So this is what they need. And it's a spiritual tool. So if it's a tool that helps you to get some blessings, why not use it? No harm, no foul, right? So, and then you can take a coin from your country, whatever your currency is, put it in your right palm. And then two, if you have this, it's called Darbar Grass. It's DHARBHA. So Darba, not Durva. Durva is this grass. And this is the grass for Ganesha. So this is much different. Can you see the difference? So that's Ganesha grass. That's called Durva or Bermuda grass. And then this is called Darbar grass. And it comes in long strands, but I cut them so I can have it keep it in a small jar. And then you can even cut it even further for your tarpanum. So you can just have little pieces of it. But for now, for this purpose and showing everyone here, you can just place that on your right hand. And so that's the amount. It's not too much, right? There we go. So that's my hand with the coin and with the rice powder. You can use white rice grains as well. Uncooked is fine. And then this black sesame seeds. And then you just can take a bottle of water. You didn't drink it. It's you never want to take anything that you're going to offer first. You want to offer it and then you can take it after. So you take it in your right hand and then you just pour the water over top. And the prayer is that you want all the ancestors to be at peace, to take this offering. And you don't have to call on anybody's name and you don't have to say their first and their last name. In fact, you don't really want to because you don't want them coming here. You just want them to send you the blessings to go into higher realms. So this is the technology that will take them into higher realms and stop them from causing harm to yourself, your life, or your family members' lives. And so how does that show up if they are disturbed. So when your ancestors are disturbed, you're going to be disturbed. So how does it show up? Chronic financial problems. Chronic. Money comes and goes, or money doesn't come at all, or you try everything to get a job and you can't, or you try business and it crashes. So you have worked your whole life and you're successful, and all of a sudden it gets taken away, everything. And you're just like, what? So that can be something coming from your ancestors that you want to get cleaned up, or your kids can't get a job, or your family members can't get work. You're okay, your life is good, you're rocking and rolling, but some family member is totally disturbed, or there's divorce. Everywhere there's divorce or separation from family members. So some ancestor might have experienced that, or if not, you'll see the pattern in generations. So your grandparents, maybe they divorced, then your parents divorced, you divorced, your kids are divorcing. We're not saying that it's a bad thing, divorce. It's, something that you just want to have a little bit of mastery over. You don't want it, if you don't want it to happen to you, because it can be very disturbing for people. Some people say, hey, I'm so glad that I got divorced because that karma's finished and it was going to be a nightmare for the rest of my life. So in that sense, it's okay. Or say, for example, an ancestor you don't even know, or you may know, but they committed suicide, or they died early. They got taken out of life or at an early age, or there was an abortion or a miscarriage. That soul didn't get to live a full life. So it's haunting you or your family members. So you want to see the pattern in your lineage that is showing up, and everyone can see it. It doesn't matter what your culture, your religious experiences. We all have ghosts or secrets in the closet, so to speak, right? We know that there's problems, and money can cover it up for some time, but then you can see disturbances in health, maybe disease. You can have all the money in the world, and you can have rockin' relationships, but then all of a sudden you get struck with cancer or diabetes or heart disease, and you have a heart attack, and everything gets taken out. Can't go to work anymore, can't do the business anymore, then everything falls apart. So where is that coming from? You could have no control over it. So even if you are praying to God, that's fine, but God says, hey, you need to pray to your ancestors. So God's not going to do anything for us. We have to just find out what the tools are. So when you come across the teachings of Dr. Pillai, he's a great master in that he just goes across the board and finds out the best teachings that will help us to navigate this world and also be able to do things faster. So faster means that you go into the spirit world, and then you can be in this world, but you're getting intelligence, you're getting knowledge, you're getting energy, and you're getting blessings, right? So people can give you money, people can give you relationship, you can be in relationship, you can have comforts, but blessings. When I started on this path with Dr. Pillai, I had everything, but I was just so empty. I was dead inside, actually, running after, the next degree and the next thing, status, and doing what everyone says is the right thing to do. And I'm not saying that that's not right. But if you're empty doing it and you get things, cars, houses, trips, and clothes, and you're doing everything because you have the means to do it, the intelligence to do it, that's fine. But there's an emptiness. Even when I was doing my charitable work, I was just so empty in it. So there was some disconnect. Right? So being on this path for over 20 plus years, it has made my life more fulfilling, more rewarding, because I can implement these teachings and understand at a daily level. I can have a ceremonious life, have a reverent life, have a joyous life, even when I am going through the roughest of times, or my family members are. I used to get so rocked when a family member would go through some crisis. It was making me to ache because I couldn't do enough for them. I couldn't live their life, and help it to be better. They had to do it. So this is a great way that I've found, and many of us on the path with Dr. Pillai, when you propitiate your ancestors, you can help all your family members, and they don't even have to know that you're doing anything. In fact, why bother? It's something that your soul wants to do, and your soul wants to help your family members to evolve without getting or interfering with their karma. Their karma means that they can do whatever it is that they're doing every day, and you don't have to say, hey, you should do this or you should do that. At the level of the soul, though, you're giving the release of the ancestors, because we all share our siblings' genes, our family, parents, kids, right? That's to some level or another. And those, whether we know it or not, those genes are making us to do stuff. Pumping in thoughts that we say, hey, we should do this. So time Amasya, do your Tarpanam. Even now, during time Amasya, you can participate in the services that are offered through Pillai Center Astrovet, as Dr. Pillai shares in a video. It's only like 7 minutes. Click on Astrovet and go listen to that video. It's so empowering. You will just totally like relate to it. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh my God, we really have to pay attention to our ancestors. Even the gods and the goddesses, divine beings, teachers, sages, saints, it doesn't matter what culture, what religion, they will say in their teachings that have been written down by those who can communicate with them in the other realms, is that they have to come to the earth plane. The earth plane is a place for remedial services. We're doing remedies all the time. We are doing rituals all the time. Just waking up and getting out of bed, we have a certain ritual. We have to jump in the shower. We've got to clear our sleep, you know, we have to get cleansed to start our day. We have to be refreshed. We have to brush our teeth. You know, this is all physical rituals, but they make us to feel a certain way. And then when we feel a certain way, then we exude some energy, some quality of energy. So we're not dragging our butts and, you know, trying to get off the bed and, oh, I don't have time for a shower, and you just don't feel well. And people are like, ooh, you should take a shower. You know, we're right from day one, we learn that, because that's what makes us to feel like we're navigating in the world, and we have this cleansing that goes on in this clarity. So with clarity, as Dr. Pillai shares, and all of us do when we come into any of the programs, is that clarity, with clarity, we can create. If we're not clear, what are we? We're indecisive. Should I, shouldn't I? We negate. We get into a negative state. It's never going to happen. We become skeptical. Or we become unfocused and even confused. And when we're confused, then, phew, okay, we need to do some scrubbing up to get clarity, you know, to get unconfused. So that can be in the form of maybe we go and we speak to someone, we learn something about our situation, so we get clear. So that can take some time. And here we are in Powertime practice, and we want to avoid delaying and having to labor and find out all the, go through everything on the internet, or go and talk to people who have more experience or more knowledge, or they know how to do things faster and more efficiently, and we have to pay them more because they do know more than us. When we go into our soul consciousness, and when we feed our ancestors, we're getting so many blessings all at once. And so that all at once can be one of those, ah, that's why I do what I do. Oh, that's how I can do something else. I am freed up. So your ancestors, when they get fed, and when it's done by the Vedic specialists on these 4 important new moons of the year, which we're going to talk about as we go along. So don't be overwhelmed. You don't have to take notes. We're going to do it together for this year and in the years to come. So no worries. So, but just know that you can start your Tarpanam by right today. If it is between sunrise and sunset. If the sun is already set or it hasn't risen yet, you wouldn't offer the tarpanam to your ancestors for various reasons, but we'll talk about that another time. So you want to just do that simple offering if you can. And as Dr. Pillai shares, no hard and fast rules. This is the time, we're coming to the end of the Kali Yuga. Actually, we're at the end of the Kali Yuga. We're into the golden age. So any spiritual practice that you do is going to give you tremendous benefit. So you don't have to be a Vedic priest and grow up in that lineage and then you do it from day one, and you've done it for decades. By the time you're 30 years old, you've done thousands and thousands of rituals and remedies and so on. You don't have to do that, because when you're on this path with Dr. Pillai, he's already done it. He gives you, at the level of the soul, he just cranks that open and says, no, you don't have to do that physically. That'll take too long. So the soul will get the blessings right away. However, during those new moons, like Tayamavasi, you would want the priests to do it if you can afford it. So see what resonates with you, but just giving you a heads up, if you can budget these special timings for tarpanam rituals to be done. And then there's other times too, like for example, Dr. Pillai's birthday is coming up, and then he's added a component because he's going to be down in Rameswaram, the place where the ancestors can be propitiated as well. So sins can be removed. We've heard of that saying, sins of the father. It is true. Because without the father's sperm, the egg won't do a thing, all right? Then the baby won't come. So it is truth in that there's tremendous truth, profound truth in sins of the father. We have to pay for our sins of the father, whether he's alive or not. That lineage is getting activated, and it's going to continue on, and we want it to stop. And so this is the way to make it stop. So participate when you can in offerings that are done through Pillai Center or Ashtravid, and then budget accordingly. So it happens about 4 times a year. Those are really powerful times. Or you can do a year-long tarpanam. There's awesome programs through Pillai Center or Ashtravid where you can do a year-long tarpanam for your ancestors, and then you can just read about it. There's so much going on there. And then there's year-long programs for, so you understand you have problems with your finances. Oh my God, how do I get rid of that? There's offerings of a free year-long program through Ashtravid, through Pillai Center, all about how to fix your finances. So all these rituals are being done in India on your behalf at power spots by Vedic specialists. And you're just going about your everyday, doing your everyday thing, but you're feeling better. Why? Because it's happening at the level of the soul. So you'll put your name and your star into those rituals if you sign up for the year-long program, which I did. And I have to do everything because I can't just talk about this if I haven't gone through it myself and feel it and experience it. And then it manifests. It shows up in my life without too much effort. So we have our goals, but not always do they work out, right? We'll start a job or a project or a career path, and it will get taken away, or we won't ever get promoted. That's ancestors too. They will just come in and block and say, remember last lifetime, this is what you did. And our lineage always gets to this level, and then that's it. Because there's some curse that's coming on. Someone cursed you. And it's not like, oh, they did voodoo or whatever. Maybe they did, because God only knows what people do. And you'd be surprised. I work with it every day through advisory services, where I work with Hanuman Das, who channels Lord Hanuman, and Lord Hanuman will take care of curses as well. So on new moons, it's a really great time to propitiate Lord Hanuman. And we'll talk about that too. But just saying that the people who come for the services to get curses removed, that we also find that they have like people in their lives, sometimes even like wives and husbands and sisters and brothers, like siblings who are jealous. They will go and hire some guy or woman to do some weird stuff that will block their progress. So this is like the black magic. This stuff is for real. And it is in the spirit realm. So it's, you know, people will say, oh, you know, I wake up in the morning, I'm all happy. And then by 2 o'clock, I can't even move. I can't do anything. I can't think. By 6 o'clock, I'm just fried. And it has nothing to do with their circadian rhythm. You know, it generally it does go down and then come back up. But this is like, they're just in a fog and they can't concentrate and they can't focus and nothing gets done. And that's pretty much like your full half of your workday. You know, where you need to be really focused and you need to be on top of things. So do the Tarpanam, participate as much as you can throughout the year. Get in a year-long program if you can, because it's the beauty of it being done in India on your behalf is because you don't have to get on a plane and go there and do all that. It's being done for you. And at the level of the soul, you're physically, you're just going to get the benefits. At the level of the soul, that's the soul technology. That's what taps into the soul and says, hey, you don't have to meditate for any length of time. It's all being done for you. So you'll live a ceremonious life. You'll live a ritualistic life, but it will be a divinely guided one. So it's all going to be this divinity coming through. And then you will feel the connection to your ancestors. There will be a relief. They'll be happy and joyous. And people will say, you know, and including myself, my mom has passed away, my grandparents, my aunts, uncles, things like that. Those people have passed. And over all the years that I've been participating in Tarpanam, I put their name in the Tarpanam offering. And I pray for them to, you know, bless not only our lineage, but the generations that are going to follow, but also the whole world. Like, hey, you guys are out of the body. You're not stuck. You're unlimited. Get going. You can do it, right? There's no, sky is the limit. Like heaven is the limit. There is no limit because heavens are on heavens and the sky is forever and space is forever. So the consciousness is what is going to do it. So that is the tremendous blessings that are coming through from my experience giving the Tarpanam to my ancestors on a daily basis. So I do that after I take a shower. It's right next to the sink in the kitchen. And some people say they do their Tarpanam right in the shower. That's fine too. Just make sure that your bathroom is very clean and your kitchen is very clean because you want it to be a sacred space, right? You want this spiritual technology to be done in a way that is going to be reverent. You know, you're really respectful. You're very reverent about your life and you'll feel the energy and you'll feel they're happy and you'll feel happy because you've done something that can be done. And some of us have had tremendous breakthroughs in our memories of how we related to our parents or anyone who has passed. We feel bad, guilty, we feel upset because we didn't work things out in the earth plane in this lifetime. But you definitely can work on it. In fact, it's easier, I would say, to work on it when they're in the spiritual realm because they just want to give you blessings because you're helping them to go to higher realms and give you those blessings. So let's just check the chat here because there's lots of so I cannot find the calendar download on the website. It looks like it will be a while before a physical one is delivered. Yeah, I don't think you'll see a download. I just happened to get it because I work for Pillai Center and Astrovet, and I said, send me the PDF. I got to know what I'm talking about. So they sent me the PDF, and then I just downloaded. But it's just a black and white. The calendar is so beautiful. I'm waiting for mine to come too. So it will be delivered. If you have ordered it, patience is a virtue. Patience pays. Patience is compassion. Somebody is saying here, what is the significance of lighting a mustard oil lamp on a Saturday? Would you happen to know? I've heard that lighting a mustard oil lamp is very good for health and healing and wellness. So that energy will help you with healing your body and your mind, getting clarity. I read that it's good to light a coconut oil for Ganesha to remove obstacles. What are your thoughts? Sure, you could. However, he likes ghee. More in this tradition that I've been following with this spiritual technology for the past 20 some odd years, I've experimented with all kinds of different oils and so on. And most, like all the divine beings, most, they like the ghee. So that's the butter, clarified butter. And then you can, on a Saturday and also on a Saturn Pradosham especially, so every Saturday or every day if you're going through Saturn period of Mahadasha, meaning that that's a period of time that you are going through, your soul is going to go through a journey for about 19 years. Mine is coming up soon. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, or you're going through 7.5 years of Saturn, or you have a Saturn that's placed in your chart that is causing so many delays and obstacles and sadness and so on. Because he takes away, he takes stuff and he takes it and takes it and takes it until you get on your spiritual path and you understand that you've got to keep doing your spiritual journey. You got to do your spiritual work to evolve yourself in this lifetime and not just at the end. You got to do it all the time and not just going to church on Sunday. So you're putting into practice that which is food for your soul, that which will make your life more fulfilling and more rewarding. Coconut oil, you could do it, I guess, for Ganesha, but he likes ghee. And more, if you want to do anything with coconut, you take a coconut and you offer it on a 4th moon or 14th moon. And you just can smash it. You can do it any day. In fact, there are a lot of people who are into, we're going to create a coconut cult, as Dr. Pillai says. You know, break a coconut a day and you won't have any obstacles. Try it out. Or you break them for like 90 days in a row. Or you can go on to Pillai Center and order someone, place an order where someone else, or not just one person, because I've seen it in India. There's a whole team of people. They break them on your behalf. And they'll break 108 or 1,008. So check that out. If you need a breakthrough in some area of your life, or maybe all areas of your life, and you can't wait, you don't want to wait, do that every day if you can at home, or if you want to go on to Pillai Center and order it during those times where they do it, because they don't do it all the time. They don't offer it all the time. It's on particular days of the year. And usually it is on a 14th or a 4th moon, waning or waxing. So check that out. If that's something that resonates with you, you'll have a breakthrough in your issue. So you don't need any more tissues for your issues. Why is the ghee lamp so important? Can you use candles instead? Yeah, you can use candles instead. The ghee is because it's the food of the gods. So the gods love it. And you'll see, even in your own experimentation with ghee lamps, there's one sitting there on my altar. And what I do is I put a little bit of this Ganesha grass in it. So this is the Bermuda grass. And what I do is I cut it a little bit up. And I'm going to just go get it for you so I can show it instead of just talking about it. So I have to be careful because I just filled it up, but I'll show it to you. So you can see there's little pieces of this Ganesha grass, and it's chopped up and it's put in the ghee. So Ganesha is there to remove the obstacles. And how does that work? Well, it's kind of like, how do you know how your car works? Or how do you know how your computer works? You just know. Or how do you know that the aspirin that you take or the Tylenol that you take works? Or how do you know that the vitamin works, right? That is because there's been some experiments and some research and some development on the technology, and it works. So it's been passed down through the ages, and just try it out for yourself. And then you will see that it does work. And how does it show up? Things go smoothly. Or if there are challenges, it's not like a big roller coaster anymore. It's just a little, you know, waves. And you need a little waves. Otherwise, it's flatline. And you're like, okay, now what? Been there, done that. This is boring. I have the rest of my life now. Right? Is this how it's going to be? Oh my God. What is the meaning of life? And then you go on your spiritual journey. So yeah, ghee lamp is good because the gods love it. And then you can watch it go down. And you can see what the work that they've done. If everything is a smooth day, you'll find that the ghee is going down a lot because they're coming and they're making everything smooth. And then it can also indicate a smooth day. Everything's so smooth, they might not even need to come and do what they need to do. So this is the secret behind the power, the energy of time. So you can use candles. Be careful with candles, please, 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 everybody. I've had fires with the little tea lights. All of a sudden I went away from my meditation space and there was a fire jumped out of the candle somehow, and it went on the cloth that I had on the table, everything. Holy cow. So be very careful with lamps, tea lights or candles. If you can get like organic candles or what are those, beeswax candles. But if you're going to do that, just get ghee lamp. It's more powerful, and it's also more economical. I buy ghee in this big, huge, like 25 kilos or something like that. It lasts forever. So what do we use for protection? For protection, you would use the ghee because the gods are coming, so you're protected. What can we do for Shani Pradosham for karma removal? Well, we're going to talk about that next week. We're actually going to do it. So hold that thought. Is there anything extra ritual to really expend that negative karma? Yeah, you can take a Shiva Lingam. I just happen to have one here. So this is a Mercury Shiva Lingam, and that's interesting because I have so many sacred objects that I've participated in services through Astro Pillai Center, and then they send me these objects, and I'm like, yay, more. So this one is, so I get crystal wands or stone wands or metal wands, and this one is a Mercury one. So it just happens to be here, and I don't see any other one nearby. And it's interesting because Mercury has just now entered Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the teacher. So Mercury, Shiva Lingam, is wanting to be recognized and are acknowledged. So everything, you'll start to see how these planets are at play in your life and how they are communicating with you. And then you make it to kind of giggle inside and go, oh, I see a sign. Just like when you see a bird and you can go, say you see a robin in the springtime, and you always know, hey, that's spring, because you've been taught that your whole life. No, because there's an energy behind it. And people have done research and they know that the different types of birds mean different things. So they call it animal totems, or you see a squirrel or something like that. You wake up and you want a sign that it's going to be a good day. Because you don't need any signs it's a bad day. You're just in a bad day. So you don't want to acknowledge that. You want to get out of it. So you're looking for a good sign. So then you can go, and if you see a squirrel, if you see a bird or something like that, and you're like, hey, why did that show up? Then you can go online, Google it, and it will give you some information about the characteristics or qualities or some insights that these people, they love to share about their journey with animal totems and so on. Kind of like when you go on the dream plane and you have a dream and you're like, oh my God, is that going to happen? Is it an accident or a fire, or someone dies? Is that really going to happen? Is it a prophetic dream? Because it's happened in the past. And you can actually change that, because dream state is just a consciousness. It's just waves of thoughts that you're tapping into an energy when you're asleep. And you have access to that. Everyone dreams, it's just we don't remember it. Some people do, and they can stay awake, and they call it lucid dreaming, and they can control their dreams, and wow, that's cool. I think it's really cool because you can get a lot of karma worked out on the dream plane. And what I do, because I don't like scary dreams, life can be scary enough. So you can just ask the divine beings to just take care of your karma in the dream plane, and you don't want to see any of the scenes because you don't like horror movies. So get rid of all that stuff. So you can take this Shiva Lingam, and then you can just pour water on it, or I have all these things around me. And so I just have some water in this this container, and it has a little spoon thingy. You can see here. And then I just take a little bit of it and can just put it right on the Shiva Lingam. And then just doing that act, you're hydrating the Shiva Lingam. And this tool, the Shiva Lingam, might seem like, what significance is that? Try it out and you will see what the significance is, because this is a universal representation of the divine on the earth plane, the masculine and feminine energies. So the yin and the yang, or the right and the manifest and unmanifest. So the spiritual energy coming in to make things matter, to make things to materialize. So doing that will give you protection every day. Do your tarpanam every day, you'll get protection every day. Stick a spear in this veil into the lime or the lemon every day. Break a coconut every day. And you can say, oh my God, that's going to be so expensive. It's cheap. It's nothing compared to what you are going to avoid, you know? So people will say, in fact, last night or early this morning after the fire lab, because the fire lab's at 11 p.m. That's why I say early this morning. We go till like 3 in the morning. We are so supercharged after the fire labs. I can't believe it. It just goes on and on and on. And by the time I get finished cleaning up and everything and set up for today, it's like, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. I think I went to bed at 5 last night or this morning. And I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to be dragging my butt off the bed. How am I going to do this? And I was like, well, I'm not going to be there. The divine will be there. And that's what you will feel. You'll just know that your life is so divinely guided. Not something that's like whispering in your ear. You're feeling it. You're being it. And you're experiencing it as it's coming through. And that is being in the flow, being in the know, being in the alignment of time and destiny is going to be turning out beautifully. Because I could say, oh my God, I gotta get out of the bed, and I'll just be a mess. And I'm just like, no, gonna have that energy, can't have that thought, because I've got to do what I need to do. That's how the divine wants it to roll out. And so that's what you do, is you want to protect yourself doing all these practices. Black magic is real, Ayana says, and it is real. So once it gets removed, you will know that it's real, because you will see it as it's being removed. And there's specialty programs if you're interested in finding out about that. Karpasamy is going to be propitiated, and he is a god. He's a performer god, and he will take care. He will give you tremendous protection. He is the 10th avatar of Vishnu, and the Hindus believe that that is the next avatar that's going to come and change everything. Just like Christians believe that there's going to be a second coming of Christ. There's, Buddhists believe that Maitreya is going to be there. So every religion, every culture believes that there's going to be some sort of savior coming. So Karpasamy, according to Dr. Pillai, in this lineage, a spiritual tradition, he's going to come. And with the way I love him, because even though I was raised as a Catholic, as mentioned before, and I have great faith, thanks God that I was raised in the Catholic faith, because I have a strong connection to Jesus. But the connection has been, okay, well, how do I manifest stuff? And so that's how I came across Dr. Pillai, because he's helping me to understand that deeper relationship to the spiritual realm, and then give me tools to help me to manifest. So during this mid-month, and actually during Dr. Pillai's birthday, he is going to be opening up the gates of heaven so that Karpasamy can come through. He already has come through, and some of us have been blessed to work with Kalkidas, who does work with Karpasamy. He brings Karpasamy, he's like a channel, and he brings Karpasamy into the call that you will have if you decide to do that, or if you get invited to do it, because it's at the level of the soul. And then he will say, okay, you've come here for this, this, and this. You don't need to tell him anything. Or you can tell him things if it's very practical things that you want practical advice about, and he will be able to get that highest knowledge around your situation and help you to resolve it. So not just see into your life and give you some reading, some prediction. It's not like that. You're coming because at the level of the soul, you need a breakthrough. So Astrobed and Pillai Center are offering services so that your soul will understand how Karpasamy's energy is coming in. And Karpasamy is this guy he looks like a pretty fierce dude, right? He's on this horse, and then he's got the sword, and the sword represents the truth. So he's going to bring justice to the world and justice to your life. So whatever has been unjust for you, maybe it's chronic. You know, you're just like, I can't believe it. I'm a nice person. Why is all these bad things happening to me all the time and everyone else is benefiting? That's just not right. So he will bring into balance what is right for you. And then he will also tell you why it's not. And you'll be like, oh God, yeah, you're right. You know, I do say things to people straight on, but that's the truth. And I should say, no, you got to be diplomatic in this world. You have to be sweet. You have to be patient. And because those are all virtues that the divine wants you to be. If you just say, well, this is the truth and I'm going to tell you how it is, that will just be like a sword cutting them into pieces. And then they're not going to feel so good, and then they're going to send you bad energy. So we're always in control of what we're doing. So if you wonder why you aren't able to manifest, or you aren't able to get along with people, you've got to really look at how you're behaving and how you are coming across to other people. Because who cares if you're right or wrong? You're going to have no relationship, right? It's going to be very challenging, and it's going to be everywhere, because everywhere you go, there you are. So you're not going to modify. Eventually people will, you know, you'll get busted. People will experience your in the face truth because you're right, and you want to make them wrong. You know, oh my God, it's so silly, aren't we? So yeah, so if anyone wants to know about these programs that I just shared about Karpasamy or working with Hanumandas, then please send me an email to sucharita@pillaicenter.com or sucharita@astroved.com, and because that is the way you will get an invitation. It's not going to be available on the website for anyone just to sign up. We have to screen you, because it has to be. Here's the thing, is that there can be other programs or other services that are, you're more in alignment with that. So these divine beings, it's kind of like Moses in the burning bush, right? He like went blind. So we don't want that. We want you to have an experience where you're ready. So there has to be a certain level of spiritual maturity, meaning that you can handle this energy coming in, and also the truth. Because if you think you can just come to these programs and then you're going to hear the advice that guide has for you, because they give very practical advice, and then you're in that program for like 12 or 18 months. So because it's not a blink and it's done. It's you finding out how your life is unfolding with this divine support. And then every month you give an update and you have to share what's going on and give feedback and what steps you've taken to manage your life in a more efficient and a better way, so you get better results. So it's not just being done for you. You got to be in it. It's very interactive, and you have to be responsible for your own life, because we can't do your life. You know, we can only say, okay, this is what's going on, this is what you need to do. He's going to do the cleaning up of the curses and like black magic, or, you know, people. And black magic can be in the form of like people who are just so absolutely jealous of you, or they're so envious of you, or they're so sad for themselves. Maybe they're happy for you, but they're so deeply hurt inside of themselves that why can't I have what that person has? You know, and so that connection to you, or that association to you or your life, the people in your life, it goes on like a, you know, mud, and it's mud slung on you. And so that can just be like congested energy that you're like going along going, oh, that's my wonderful friend or my family member, they're so happy for me, but they're not happy for themselves. And so that energy is like going on to you, and you don't even know that's happening, or you may know and you can't do anything about it. So these guys are specialists. They're handpicked and they're trained forever to do this service to humanity. And so we can't just take anyone. You have to be spiritually evolved. And then there's also a price point that is associated with that. Just like you would go to a financial advisor, or you would go to anyone who has more knowledge about how to get out of your problem, your crisis. You gotta pay for that service. It's an energy exchange. It's not because they're setting it and want to make tons of money. That's not it at all. In fact, these guys, they're so egoless. They don't want to touch it. They don't want anything to do with it. So a lot of the services are going towards charity as well. So they're charitable with their time and their energy. So they are for uplifting humanity, and that's their purpose in life. And that's what they have continued to do every day to purify themselves, so they can be a pure channel for you to tap into your highest consciousness and get the support that you need and get cleaned up. Kind of like you go into surgery. You're not awake as the surgeon is doing it. Hey, what are you doing now? Hey, why are you cutting there? You're out cold. You know, you're in an anesthetic and everybody around is taking care and removing that. Just like you would go to a lawyer if you have to go through a divorce, or you have to go through some business lawsuit or whatever it is. And you're not going there every day. They're working on it. They've got teams working on it. So that's what you're doing in the spiritual path, and with these tools that you're exposed to in the courses or the services that are offered through Pillai Center Ashravid, under Dr. Pillai's guidance. And he knows everybody who's coming into these higher level of karma extraction programs, because he wants to see that you're going to be okay. So it's not that everyone can do it. We couldn't even take everyone on. So there's a bit of a screening process. Send me an email and we'll go through your situation, and then we'll give you advice on what it is that you may need to do, because maybe you don't need to do that kind of program. Maybe you can be in one of the year-long programs that are offered through Pillai Center Ashravid. And why I say year-long is because you want to see what happens in a year, not just in a few days. You want to see your whole life unfolding in a whole new way. And not only you experiencing transformation, but you seeing it in others in your life, in your interactions with others, in maybe your job that you, all of a sudden you get promoted and it's just coming out of nowhere. You're like, wow, that's so cool. So in a year, a lot can happen. I'm not saying that in a day a lot couldn't happen, but it's like getting the lotto in a day, boom, you get the lotto, and then now what do you do with it? So you've got to get educated. And you've got to understand how you're navigating this new you. So it's very, very important to participate in some program. It can be, successive ones, Like for Astroved, I've been a member since the doors opened up and there's only 2 people working there. And have seen it evolve to this huge company now. And it's helping people and providing services for people who can't go to India. And now it's online, and thank God for technology that we can do this online, and it affects our soul, because the soul doesn't have any boundaries. It doesn't have any physical limitations. It just has a language, and it has the keys that unlock the language of our soul. And every soul has its own language. Yes, we're all one, but like the ocean, yes, we're all one, but how do we so what are we doing here, right? How are we navigating in this ocean? You got to know what you're doing. So doing a year-long program, or participating like I do every month, there's so many things going on, but I tend to just go towards those services that are going to really cause a shift in not only in my life, but in many of the people's lives that I work with, or in my family's life, because the higher the vibration that I have, then the experience of the people that I'm working with, it will just automatically give the clarity. And I don't have to think about too much. They'll just always feel better afterwards. Or more enlightened, or clearer, or whatever. Some transformation takes place, and whatever I say or whatever happens during that time, the divine is there and making it to unfold in a beautiful way, so they can navigate with more grace and ease. So you kind of know that, and then once you come out of that point, you know what grace is, you know what blessings are, you know what ease is, you know what you need to do, because you will have had your skeletons removed from the closet, so to speak, and then you will see it unfolding in your life and in the lives of other people who are important to you. And you will just be like, oh my God, this is such a great life. It's very challenging for many of us to say this is such a great life, because they see everybody in their life and everything that those people are doing is all to live a more purposeful, more fulfilling life, and to help community, to do work in the community, or to do work in the world at large, whatever area that is that you're working in. You want to do something greater than yourself at the end of the game. You don't want to get smaller and do less. You want more wisdom to come through as we age. And with more wisdom, things happen easier, and more things happen easier. So where do you buy the grass? Ganesh, this type of grass, this is the Bermuda grass, so you can get it online, you can Google it. You can go to an Indian Archana store or puja store in your local area if you don't have that. We have lots in Toronto, so I just think everybody in the world has the blessings to have that, but maybe not. But you can get it online. Maybe there will be some people who can share different links. The Darbar grass that you would use for your tarpanum, you don't have to use tarpanum, but we'll talk about Darbar grass for your tarpanum. But we'll talk about that. What is the minimum to use? But this Darbar grass, again, it comes in really long, like, maybe even 18 inches or 24 inches. And then I just cut it so it fits in a jar and I can put it in my cupboard. And then if I want to use it for my tarpanum, I want it to last a long time, I just cut it in very tiny pieces and then just use a couple of pieces for every offering that I do. But we'll do that next week. So buy it online or buy it in an Indian grocery store or puja store, Archana store. So the way the ghee lamps burn tells us how the gods have accepted the offering of light. Yeah, you will find, when I find that everything ran smooth through my day, whether I'm here or whether I'm out and about, I will go back to my ghee lamp and say, wow, a lot got dranken up. Or if it hasn't been, and it's just like burning, and it's just like you can just feel so peaceful, it just means that everything has already been cleared. There's nothing for the gods to come in and take. you know, because they're like, you're all topped up here. We don't need to be here. We don't need to have a lunch break to do our work, our dinner break. So it can mean, it's going to be up to you, whoever this iPhone person is, to determine what your own experience with this technology is. So we can only give you share our experiences, and then you can explore it yourself. Vera is saying, get a large tile and put it under the candle to prevent fires. That is a very brilliant thing to do, because if you just leave it on a glass plate, cracks, ceramic cracks, if it's intense heat. Or if you put it on wood, the wood has burned in the past for me. I just stay away from candles. I'm not good with candles. I understand Henneman program is investment. Yeah, so ST, please send me an email and we'll talk about that. All the price point, everything about the program, and then you'll go away. And as I say to everyone, you have to go away and think about this, pray, you know, go internally and just say, is this for me? And in fact, everyone should do that, because you go to AstroVed and Pillai Center and it's like going to a shopping mall, right? You're just like a kid in a candy store. You want everything, but then no, can't have everything. You can't have all that candy. And even if you had the money, you would just be sick, or you'd be like the burning bush and go blind. You don't want to have that experience. So you want to look at, so in Power Times, we'll give you a heads up. Does this resonate with you? And then if it does, what can you do? And we will give you all kinds of free advice that you can do if the budget doesn't allow for you to participate. Just start to activate that consciousness within you. And what you'll find, like with me, I always wanted to do a Mahalaya, and it was quite expensive at the time. And for years I couldn't do it because my paycheck just wouldn't allow for it, because I was participating in other programs and services, and then that was a big chunk of money for 15 days and during Mahalaya. But I knew that I had to propitiate the ancestors, and so I would just pray and pray and pray about the ancestors, and I would cry even, like, how am I going to help you? Okay, I'll do my daily tarpon, but that's not working because there's so many of you. It's not just like a few of you that have passed. There's a whole, like, I don't know, gazillion generations. They're all coming, right? So as the years go on, you just find that more and more are coming. And it's a never-ending story, because you have trillions of cells in your body, and each cell has DNA. So got to get it cleared up. But it will happen fast, relatively speaking. So when I participated in the Mahalaya, it was a big chunk of change. But I prayed for not just 1 year or 2 years. I think I prayed for like 3-4 years. I couldn't do it. And then finally, it was just broke through, and I was able to have the money in the bank. And that's what I recommend everyone do. You take this spiritual path seriously as a part of your everyday life, and then you just put aside your account for your spiritual teachings or the services that you want to participate in, or the courses that you want to take, or you want to go on a pilgrimage. You know, you want to go to Dr. Pillai's birthday trip in India because you want to go to these real cool power spots. Or during Guru Purnima in the summertime, which is usually around it's the full moon. It's not usually around the full moon. It is the full moon in the month of July. And sometimes Dr. Pillai goes to very cool resorts, like he did in the past couple of years, gone to California. And I've been blessed to be able to go to those resorts, and it's just awesome. And some people go and then they bring their families on a holiday. They go to their court, they go to the Guru Purnima event, and then their family goes boating or to the beach or whatever they do. And it's a beautiful experience for everybody. So you want to put that money aside, just like you would if you're going to go on a vacation. You plan for that. So start planning, and then, you know, do your Shreem Brzees. And for those people who are new to Dr. Pillai's teachings, Shreem Brzee is the consciousness that is going to build wealth consciousness in you. So it's our birthright to have all the comforts in life and to have food for the soul, so we're not just having food or, comforts, and we're dead, dead inside. So have your bank account started, or your savings account, just for your spiritual journey. Just as you would if you have to, you have a hobby. You're a skier. Oh my God, it's so expensive to ski, or you're a hockey player, or you're a sailor, or you like mountain climbing. You got to go to mountains if you don't live in the region, right? You got to get on a plane and go to mountains and so on. So everything that we want to do at the level of the soul is going to be an exchange. It's going to be an investment. So I read you should buy ghee and oil on certain days only. Does that matter? No. Thursdays is a good day though, if you want to. That's always a good day. But no hard and fast rules with Dr. Pillai. Please don't get, oh my God, there's so much to think about. That's why we have these free programs, so that you can just feel at ease and just know that whatever you're doing, it's going to be the right thing. So you're going to come to the shopping mall and you're going to like, or it's like coming to a buffet or a smorgasbord. You want to eat everything and then you're just totally sick, right? So we don't want you to do that. We want you to, and don't be, people come to the spiritual class because they're totally desperate. Oh my God. You cannot be, yes, you can feel desperate, but then you've got to look at your life seriously and get help from people in your life to help you out of your desperate situation. So if you need extra counseling, or you need guidance, financial guidance, or you need even religious counseling, in your church or your synagogue or temple, go to, if that's what you resonate with, go to that. Go get the help, from your family members. If you can't go to your family members for whatever reason, you've got to find someone in the earth plane who's going to help you, because we can't, through the services, it's God is going to decide what you have to do, and God helps those who help themselves. So again, it's like you're given the lotto, but you don't know what to do with it. So we're given this birthright to be highly evolved spiritual beings, but we don't know how to use the technology in us. So the technology that's given to us will unlock those secrets, and then you align with it, and there you go. So don't get too stressed out about it. And I love the services that are offered through Pillai Center Astrobid, because they are doing it all precisely at the right time with the right things and all the rest. So during those power times where you can get a lot done that you wouldn't be able to just do on your own, and it impacts your life in a more profound way, and a more broad way, in that it impacts people around you, where you couldn't just dial them up and say, hey, they'll call you, they'll think things will shift, and you'll just like, oh my God, this is so easy. So they do it all. Those Vedic specialists will do everything in a very systematic way. So we don't really have to worry too much. God only knows, we're already busy. Karpasamy event. So Karpasamy event is going to be mid-month, but we'll talk about that next week. And then also during Dr. Pillai's birthday, which is at the end of January. And then if you want any price points, send me an email. Yeah, so somebody is saying here, so we send you an email and explain our current challenges? Yes. If you want to have one-to-one coaching, then I will send you a link and give you price points for that. Can you give a mantra to chant to remove anxiety over attending a funeral? Oh, so sorry. My sister-in-law passed away December 21st, and my grandmother passed away last Sunday. Oh, dear. So sorry about that. I'm already shaking with anxiety at the thought of going to the funeral, but I must attend. What to do? Yeah, and I can totally relate to that. And you can never prepare yourself anyways. Even if you think you're all together, you're going to be blubbering. Not that that's any consoling words of wisdom, but it's true. So just know, and also you can be laughing. You can be everything at a funeral. So the divine is going to decide. So just pray that those souls are resting in peace, and you're going to go and, you know, support everyone who has been associated with that person, and give the condolences, and just be that divine being that you are, to, you know, smile at someone who's hurting more than you. You know, that's what we want to do, is we want to get out of ourselves. And how we do is that the divine will show us someone in our life who's suffering more than us. And then what you might find is you will be laughing about silly things at the funeral. You'll think, oh my God, that's totally inappropriate, but it's totally appropriate. You know, you're not going to be doing it in a overt way, but there will be moments where that grief, and you'll have a reprieve from the grief and the suffering. But here's the thing that the silver lining, I'm a silver lining girl. I always like to look at the silver lining in the gray cloud. So what you can experience sometimes, if not always, when some crisis is going on, you get to get rid of a lot of emotions, right? They're not even related to the situation, right? So for example, if someone passes, you know, you get to be whatever you are, and everyone will just say, oh, you know, just be compassionate. They had someone who passed, or they're going through a terrible time, and that's the way why they are the way they are. But what will happen is, because when we go through crisis, it's actually a spiritual crisis. It's a wake-up call for all of us. And of course, it's a wake-up call because we see, my God, not too much time in life, right? And you can be taken out at any time. And it can be a terrible existence, or it can be, you know, going to the heavens and you got angel wings. So whatever it is, it's going to rip us apart internally, and it's going to expose all our wounds that we've had inside of ourselves. And that's why we get on the spiritual path, because we are torn apart. Our life is in a shamble because of this crisis. Could be an accident, could be a death, could be loss of a job, could be loss of finances, could be, you know, problems with kids, husbands, wives, whatever that is. It's a critical moment. That's why they call it crisis. It's a critical moment for you to go really deep and purge all that stuff that you've been putting in closets and locking it away and compartmentalizing it and repressing it and oppressing it. And it's so tight and you're so wound up, you're going to blow up. So that kind of thing. Dia and anyone else who is going through a very sad time and they have to say goodbye, go to the funeral and pay your respects, go knowing that the divine wants you to be there, not just for you. It's for something greater than you, and you will find out what it is. I went to one funeral and I played with the kid of the parents who their father had passed. And they were just a blubbering mess. They couldn't even take care of the kid. And they were just, you know, sobbing, and there was hundreds of people there, and they had to talk to all these people. And I got to play with the kid the whole time. And we had a great time. And then the parents were just so happy that the kid was being taken care of and didn't have to go through all the blubbering, crying, and all the rest, right? So be natural. You get to be your most natural when you're going through a crisis. Now, don't indulge. It doesn't give you permission to indulge. In fact, if you do the tarpanam for this person, yeah, it is, let me just go back here. Yes. So you can go to Astrovet or Pillai Center, and then you can order a tarpanam, which is kind of like a funeral rites service. Not kind of like, it is for the soul. So although you will do go to a funeral service for the soul in your culture, that soul might not have been propitiated because we don't know if they have been. If you feel like, oh, everybody's calmed down and everybody's happy, everybody's celebrating the soul's life, because it ends up being that way through all the sadness or the grieving. If it hasn't, if you don't feel that, then you can participate and do an anniversary of the death. They call it anniversary of the death, but it's actually 14 days after the soul, the person passes. And then you can participate in that Tarpanam service. So please, just know that, take care of yourself, meaning that you just make sure that you have something to eat so you're grounded, and it's not going to disturb your stomach, but you're going to be present. And then do your whatever practice that you're doing. The mantra to chant can just be simply Om. You don't want to think too much, because when you're in that kind of situation, you can't think of all the words, and then you get frustrated about that. So just Om or Amen, or if there is an Amen equivalent to whatever religious or spiritual tradition that you were raised in or you're more familiar with, be that. If you're going to a church, you're attending a mass, then just do the prayers of the mass. That is the mantra. The mantra means the spiritual prayers that protect your mind from being bombarded with fear, anxiety, depression, grief, and so on. It's already happening, right? Within and also without. So these two people, to help their souls, or anyone out there who is experiencing the same as Diha, then explore it. And then two, that can be, if you're doing it for those two people, that can be costly. So you want to look at Astroved. Maybe you want to do a year-long Tarpanam for all your ancestors, including these people. And then that will be a nicer price point. It depends on your bank account and what you feel that would be the best thing for them, those souls. So you do what you can do. If you can't do anything, just do your Tarpanam. But don't say their names or anything. You just say, you want to keep it at a soul level. You don't want to put any personality or energy to it, because then that will stick to you. You don't want that sticking to you. Can you share your experience of proxy services from the birthday trip? Absolutely. I've been on many birthday trips, and I've been on not so many birthday trips. So over the years, I've been there in person or not in person, and I'm good with it, because God only knows what you can do, right? And where you should be and when. So as Dr. Pillai shares, be happy when you get the call, and be happy when you don't get the call. Just be happy. So proxy services are what I also recommend for those people who are not going to be able to go physically to the birthday trip. And whatever resonates with you, you should do that. So not everybody is going to take the highest package or premier package or whatever. You can just do what resonates with you, what you're able to do. So when I participate in the proxy services, and this is what people who are on the trip will say, because it's so high and there's so many people, and they'll say, oh, wasn't that a great trip? Afterwards they'll come back and we'll be talking, just touching base, and I'll say, oh, what, how was your trip? Oh, wasn't that awesome when we went here and we went there? And I said, I wasn't there. No, you were there for sure. And I said, no, but proxy, I was there. So at the level of the soul, your soul will be participating. It's not something that you will know unless you tune in. And I was during that whole birthday trips, or the trips that I don't go, or I just participate in proxy services, I feel it. I feel everything that's going on. And then over the years, I have lots of different friends who are going on the trip, and then they'll text me, or they'll ping me on Skype, or they'll send in, oh my God, they'll send pictures and things like that. So I really get into it. And I can participate on that level. But there are times where I don't know who's going, and nobody's going that I know, and then I'll participate in proxy, and it's the same. I will experience. Actually, you can experience a deeper connection, and that's what we want to do. on our spiritual path. We don't necessarily need to do all the things that are offered or participate in everything. It's our spiritual journey. So we have to recognize when it's time to go, when the calling comes. And if it's pinging you to, you better get there, you better do this. It's not something that you're going to do it or die, you know, or you're going to be punished if you don't. No, that's old school stuff, right? So you just want to, like, it's something so deep with the inside of you that says, please do this. This is what I need. This is what soul talk is talking to you. Your soul is longing for that to, you know, food for the soul to be given. So yeah, proxy is awesome. And whatever you want. My experiences have been tremendous. I've gone to places in my meditations that I couldn't go to. But because Dr. Pillai is there and he knows who can be there. And they say, you know, in the scriptures, or you read sacred texts or the stories of the masters and their disciples, or the students who come and they don't know anything about anything, just like I did in the beginning. In fact, I don't know anything about anything anyways. I just, whatever comes in, that's what the knowledge is. If I plan anything, forget about it. It's not that I don't plan, but it rolls out how it's going to roll out in a divine way. But you will feel a deeper connection. And then you will know when you're in the presence of the master, or you go on these trips or whatever, you will know that something profound had shifted inside of you. And then in person, then it goes even deeper. So they say in the text and in the writings that the master knows who can and cannot be there. In fact, he gives more blessings if you're not able to go. Because he knows from afar that he has to, those who are far away will get a lot of blessings. So don't stress out about that. Do the proxy and then you'll get the connection. It's like Wi-Fi. Proxy is like Wi-Fi. That's how I experience it. You got a good connection. You have a good service provider. I received Guru Feet Cube from Guru Purnima. What do I do with it? Is it Dr. Pillai's feet? Yeah, the feet of the Guru or the master. You learn the teachings at the feet of any master, right? Even if it's a teacher, they're usually standing and you're kind of at their feet level, right? You're at their, where they have gone, they have walked, and then you get to walk in their footsteps. So feet are a good metaphor for a lot of different things that you are following, because we use our feet to navigate in life. Go here, go there. So the feet also in the Indian tradition, the feet of the guru or the master, the brain of the master is in the feet. So the chakras, the gods and the goddesses live in the feet, apparently more so than anywhere else. And that's why you see, you know, very devout people, even in like all different cultures. In Christianity, you know, you bow, and you, if you're going to, you get to see the Pope or some cardinal or something in Christianity, you kiss their ring. You know, you're going towards not looking straight in their eyes. So the feet has a lot of secrets. So just put the Guru feet, the cube, on your altar. And then you can, you know, again, put a little bit of water. Why water? Water is cleansing. It's also hydrogen. We talked about that before. So hydrogen and oxygen make up a water molecule. So H2, 2 hydrogen and an oxygen. We need oxygen to breathe, and hydrogen is God. So we're breathing God. So to put the water on the cube, we can offer the light and the incense, and maybe put a flower, put a raisin. It depends on you, because you're saying this has been given to me during Guru Purnima, a very powerful time to receive blessings. So that's how the blessings will come. The energy will be transmitted to you. You think it's just a cube. It's not. So people are sending prayers of condolences to you, Diha. I hope you read that. Oh, Dia, you're saying, thanks, I needed encouraging. Thanks for your kind words and advice. Thanks, everyone. Love and light from me to all. Yeah, so there you go. You're going to do fine, and you're going to be there for other people, and that's what a soul wants to do. That's what being true to your soul or living your soul's purpose is, to be for others. You know, not in a martyr or victim kind of way, but you just know, God, there's somebody suffering more than me. And in this situation, I can just get out of myself by helping someone else. If someone passed away some months ago, yeah, do the Tarpanam, Ariel. You can do the Tarpanam through the services that will be offered, because those guys, they see the soul. The soul shows up. I've been there and to do in-person Tarpanam. Oh my God. I almost fell down the stairs at the river's edge where you do this. It's a very powerful place in Kerala. And there's steep steps to go down, and everybody has to go down. The priest does all the ritual and the offerings, the Tarpanam offerings. It's quite elaborate. It's not just like a little bit of black sesame seed and white rice powder. It's pretty elaborate. And then I was just in this trance, and as I turned, I almost went backwards, and Hanuman Das was with me, and he just grabbed my shirt and he pulled me back, and I was just like, what was that all about? And he said, they wanted you in. My ancestors wanted to take me into the river. And at the moment he said that, I was like, oh my God, I just burst out in tears. And I was just so grateful, you know, that I could participate in this act that everyone is doing for us by proxy. So definitely you can do it for any time anyone has passed away, and you continue to do it. Like every Tarpanam service, I participate because, you put the same names that you know of the people who have passed, and you just use their first name. You don't have to say their last name, anything. Just you know, Elizabeth, Mary, Jane, George, Fred, you know, or whatever the name is. The first name is the tradition that you just need to do, because it's done under your star, and it's done in your name, and your name carries the energy, and then you carry the souls of your ancestors. So you're just saying, hey, John, the soul inside of me, John, you know, Grandpa John or whatever, you need to be released now, because this body needs to just be clear, right? Clear. I don't need to be congested with your thoughts, because wow, you're a guy and I'm a girl, and I don't want to do that, for one. But they will have their unfinished business that they'll want to live out through you. And they always, the ancestors, here's the thing, that the ancestors will always seek out the highest evolved person in your family. So they will, for some reason, you chose to be the one. So pitter patter, get at her, get those ancestors propitiated. Yes, Diana, there'll be a meditation this morning. There's a lot going on we need to talk about. And I'm just going by the chat here. So the death was devastating, unexpected. I will do the Tarpanam for her. Grandmother was 90, so I'm grateful she took her rest, even at such an already grievous time for our family. You're very welcome, Dia. And two, again, Dia, why don't you give me a call, or sorry, send me an email, and I'm going to give you a few different options, because I want you to get the most out of the investment that you're going to make. And there's a couple of different things that I would recommend that are in the same price point, but they will do more for just the grandmother and the sister-in-law. Okay, so let's get as many as we can propitiated for that price point. So send me an email, sucharita@astroved.com or sucharita@pillaicenter.com, and we'll get you the right thing for your ancestors. And not only your ancestors, here's what happened when my mom passed away. Oh my God, we were a mess. There's 5 siblings and then all their wives and husbands and kids and so on. We were just a mess. And within that 14-day period, I was like, okay, well, I knew because I was working with Hanumandas, and I just said, okay, I got to do this Tarpanam. But I said, are my siblings going to be okay? Because they're just, everybody's messed up, like dysfunctional, can't function, you know, and these are all people who are totally together and, you know, they're just falling apart. Mom's gone. And so by the time the Tarpanam got done, and nobody knew. So by the time the Tarpanam got done, oh my God, we were celebrating, we were partying. I was like, this conference call is way different than what it was. And then, you know, we had all come together for the funeral, and we're just a mess there in the I think it's like, in the Catholic, it was 7 days or something like that, because we had to wait. We had to put her body in a cooler or something, put it on ice, so that we could fly in from wherever we were. Maybe it wasn't 7 days. We were there for 7 days. It was probably the third day. But we couldn't even speak to each other. We couldn't even, it was horrible. And we couldn't even articulate what was going on. And, you know, everybody regresses to the time they were 5, and people are saying stuff that, you know, when we were doing when we were 5 years old. And my God, it was a mess. So by the 14th day, when the Tarpanam got done, it was like, hallelujah. Everybody was happy. Everybody was like joy and back to normal, and still. So it's not like it goes on and on. It's just like that soul is happy. It did the thing that it needed, and then everybody benefits. So do it for everybody. I'm not sure, Sumeda, you're saying, please, Sucharita, about the mantra group. I have time to organize a mantra group by Skype. I send you an email? I know it's like karma. Oh, okay. Yes, send me an email, Sumeda, for sure. You don't do any names. When you're doing the Tarpanam, Ariel, or anyone else, you don't do any names. If you're just doing it on your own. Like you're doing it for your daily practice, is that what you're asking me? Or are you asking me if you participate in the Tarpanam through the services that are offered through Ashurveda or Pillai Center? If it is the second thing, services that are offered through Pillai Center, there will be a drop down as you check out. You make you participate by placing the order, and then it'll say check it out. And then as you go through the checkout process, it will say add the names of your ancestors on the paternal side and the maternal side. That's where you just can name the first name. And I don't know all of them. So I have a list that I just copy and paste. And as they pass away, they get added to the list. You can do several names, yeah. People are, Samita's saying thank you so much for the programs. Yeah. No, you don't need their birth star, Ariel. You don't need anything. You just say John, Mary, Fred. That's it. I think I'm at the bottom of the chat. Yay, which means the top of the meditation. Are we done chatting for a bit? Yeah. So let's, now that we've taken a lot in, right? We've taken it in a lot, so let's digest it. Let's assimilate it and not have an upset stomach. Because our gut is what we go by, our gut feeling, right? So our gut thinks. Actually, there is a book on it. You can go check it out, our gut thinks, or gut intelligence, something like that. And it's true. If we have, a sore stomach, or we have, a lot of discomfort in our guts, we can't think straight, isn't it? We don't have clarity. So we want to get to that intuitive place inside of ourselves And you look at the gut as a chakra is a psycho-spiritual center. And you see the word psycho and spiritual. Your psychology and your spiritual path need to be hand in hand. They need to spin together, right? They can't be separate. Then you're kind of schizoid. You're bipolar, right? You're one or the other. So you want to have that energy always so that you're tapping in and that feels right. So these energy centers that we're going to align and tap into, the psycho-spiritual chakras, they are going to help you to understand and get clarity around your situation. And we'll get a good Wi-Fi connection with the divine. So let's get into a state of receptivity. We'll get back to the chat after the meditation, everyone. Or if you need to go, then definitely the meditation will be posted to the YouTube that you can watch later on.